Hey guys, welcome to this video case study. I've got David here, and today we're going to be talking about David's experience through the TAP system. And I think it's always good to watch these kind of videos so you can get insight, not just from me, but from someone who's an active client and who's actually going through it, who sees the results behind the scene with all the other clients, and also, of course, David's own results, which you'll hear about in a minute. So firstly, David, thank you for your time. Really, really do appreciate your time. Just would you like just to introduce yourself and just say where you're based and what is it that you teach, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so I've been teaching karate for probably 10 years in terms of my own dojos. I have three locations. Before my introduction to Swapnil, I had two locations, and I think I was struggling a little bit with regular kind of interest. So for instance, people coming, it would be in fits and drabs, and it wasn't a regular thing. There was no pattern. Usually after Christmas, possibly around the school holidays, but nothing regular. And so I was also thinking about opening up another venue, just because we were kind of like, we're working in smaller spaces in our dojos. We haven't got a big hall. So in preparation for that, I really wanted to grow the business and grow the number of students. And my thing with my club is to give people as many training opportunities as possible. So if I've got 7 hours of training, my students have access to all those 7 hours. And I think that's one of the only ways that you can offer something like black belt gradings and Dan gradings to your students, because it takes that much work. You can't just offer once like 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week. I don't think it's enough. So that's my theory on where I want the business to go.
How did you do you remember how you came across me? Like, how did you find me, or how I found you
I
maybe?
think I think yeah, I've seen you because you got a very distinctive name, and you were cropping up on Facebook, and telling people what you were telling me. I think it took a few times for me to listen before it actually sunk in. I think you see people and you don't really take it all in, and these claims seemed at the time far-fetched. But I just say now that I know that they're not far-fetched. But yeah, I was quite impressed with what you were saying. It took a few times for me to understand. I think you sent me an invitation to your page,
Yeah, it
and
was
I
my
joined
Facebook
it.
group
We
or something like
agreed. That's right. And then I think we agreed to talk. I was going through a little patch where I was becoming a little bit disillusioned with my students as well. I think I wanted to almost say, I'm going to start again, because there was a habit forming, and I think COVID possibly might have been responsible for this. But a lot of people lost their motivation, and we communicate through a messenger app, and a lot of the students would say, I can't make training tonight, and then all of a sudden you got like 3 or 4 other people say, oh, me neither, and it was setting a precedent that was becoming okay. So I was getting a little bit maybe fed up with that. I've spoken to a few of the students saying, look, if you're going to not turn up to training, just direct message me. Don't put it on the chat, because then you get everybody sort of thinking, you know what, I'm going to stay in and I'm not going to train. I do try to instill that when we train, it's all about sacrifice. So if it's a beautiful day, the number of beautiful days that I've had to kind of miss out on is incredible. I can't just say, oh, it's a nice day, I'm not going to train, or whatever. And I know people get injuries and things like this, and they don't feel too well. But I can't say that's ever stopped me from training anyway.
What would you
Okay, so
what would you say? What were you doing before? Like, obviously, we you came across. I got in touch with you and we had a chat. But what were you struggling with before? Like, in terms of what did you try? Did you try flyers, or what? How were
okay,
you
yeah.
trying to market yourself then?
Okay, so my idea of how I was advertising at the time, and I do a lot of advertising in the advertising industry. So, but as a creative person, so I create, and I was probably doing it in a way that a creative person would, with clever headlines, maybe poignant opinions, and just trying to get a theme going, getting something I could get my teeth into in a creative way and explain. But in terms of audience, it wasn't big enough. So, you know, I'm obviously building up my audience from my page, but it was staying on my page. I was possibly, you know, advertising on a few buying and selling groups, but they get funny. They sometimes don't allow you to go on there, and it gets really ridiculous. So that really wasn't working for me. And people were joining. They'd see, a lot of people have seen my posts, and a lot of people have been like following it for some time. But I wanted people local to my area. I want people within the, you know, traveling range. And actually, that's another thing I wanted to say is that seems to have opened up. I've got people coming from like 20 miles away now because they found out about what I'm doing. I've always tried to encourage on the Google, you know, on the Google, just to get good reviews, and I think I'm up to 43 5-star reviews at the moment. So I've always pushed that. That's not, again, that's good, but it's not been kind of a game changer like what you've done for me, or your system has done for me, for my club.
So let's just quickly talk about, like, everyone sees the tap system and sees this like you did before and stuff. How would you describe it to someone? What would you say if someone said to you, can you just describe to me in like a few lines what the tap system is, and then we'll talk about the results that is generated for you.
So every club waits for people to want to join. What this does is it actively gives you a pool of many people who want to join. Some will fall by the wayside, but most, as soon as they turn up to my club, will join. So I'm not going to give too much away about the offer because I've paid for this. So, you know, so I'm not going to give that away free. I want people to know that once you do this system, it will give you forever and a day leads. So unless obviously Facebook goes out of business or whatever.
I think it's a fair point. Like, what I would say is there's a lot of agencies and people out there that talk about leads and stuff. Would you mind talking about how the quality of the leads have been?
Yeah. This is the thing. So not only am I getting quality leads, so everybody I speak to, when I catch on the phone, so it comes straight to my phone. These leads, the clever system allows that to happen. I phone them up. I get in touch, you know, maybe 7 times out of 10, and then I continue maybe later on to try and get hold of those people. But you know, it's very difficult because they're working. Then you've got meal times, but then you do manage to catch the majority on the phone at some point. So that's all very good. The quality of the leads is very good. You know, I've been targeting kids, but my adult population has grown too. So even though I'm kind of targeting one area, it seems to be having an impact on all areas. So the other thing I wanted to say was, not only is the tap system firing up leads through the usual channels, but every other channel, and whether it's not, I think I attribute everything to the tap system, but it isn't always obvious that it's come from there, because my website has gone, you know, it's blowing up. Leads from my website, leads from something called Drift, which is a little chat thing that I use on my website. I'm getting more from Messenger, and it's had an influence. So maybe some of the people haven't directly asked for, you know, the promotion. They've kind of come through, they've remembered it and come through another way. So they've either taken a look at the website, they've either thought, I'll message this guy directly or whatever. But it's definitely, so everybody on that list, and I've got about 47, I think, at last count on that list that comes through Google Docs. There's more that have come from other places that don't go onto that list. I would say there's another 10, 15 more. So you're looking at, you know, near on sort of 90. My maths ain't great, so, you know. But,
I mean, like, well, I mean, this point is such a vital one that people are just not aware of. When you run good ads where people read it and they get a little bit educated, like the style ads that you've learned, it actually encourages people to go and search you out. And this is why your increases of website and all these other channels happen, because people have ran ads before in the past and they tend to just do these little shorty ones, which can work, don't get me wrong, but there's not much about you or anything in there. So people don't feel like the urge to go and look you up. So this is what has happened with yours. And this is why I always say like the tap system's great in getting leads, but you get a lot more if you attribute it like the way you've just mentioned. So this is quite a good segue to go into how many students have you had? Like we've been running the ad for just over a month or so. What would do you know roughly how many?
Well, I think I know a lot more are going to be converted, but my offer was to give 4 free sessions. Some people take advantage and they want to join straight away, but I say, okay, join, set up your standing order. I sell them the kit, and they make it so they've had 4 of their free sessions, which is fine. That's absolutely no problem, because I kind of do that anyway. I'm also not charging them a joining fee, so they get that, so it makes them rush. I'm also saying, because I can say this now, is there's a lot of people, far more than I need, that are going to take advantage. So I would get in there quick if I were you, giving them that urgency. I feel cheeky doing it, but I don't want them to be messing me about. So I've never been in a position where I can actually turn people away. But I'm kind of saying, look, if you don't rush, I can't give you the offer. So I'm doing that. I reckon I must have. I've definitely attribution. I can't fool, but I'm guessing I've got 40. I got 40 people that have joined since I started it. And I think I've got about 20, 30 that are undergoing the trial at the same time as well. I've nearly filled a venue from scratch. I mean, some of the people are from my existing clubs. They come over and train, but the majority are
Yes,
new.
I remember you started a new area, didn't you?
Brand new. And I did that before COVID. And it was just, I had no one new. I only had existing members coming over that wanted to train on a Friday. So
how does that make you feel, I suppose?
That makes me feel like I want to do it again. It makes me feel like if I could get a big venue, if I could, I would definitely do it, because I know I could fill it.
Would you say it's given you confidence? Like one of those, like a lot of clients have said that the tap system is great, gives you members and stuff, but the byproduct is confidence, knowing that you can fill up any place. And that is so powerful. And just knowing that, you could do that. I mean, that's 14 a month. That's awesome. And I think it is a little bit more as well. And to be the ones
I definitely agree. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a good figures guy, but you get a feel, I mean, even running the business, you get a feel for when you're making money, when you're not making money, when you just have a rough idea, because you just can't do mental arithmetic in your head. And that's telling me that, I've never had anything like this, and to spark up this fire that, you're in control of, is an amazing thing. And I just wanted to say one other thing, so I'm getting adults as well, which is, I mean, I would say every instructor or club owner would prefer to have adults. I love kids, but it's so much nicer to be teaching them as well, because it keeps your sanity, your sanity. I don't tend to play a lot of games with kids, but the quality of my adults, they're training at 7 hours a week. They're training at and that helps me through to be able to teach the kids. They're actually taking part as well. My senior instructors now are starting to step up. They're stepping up because they're seeing all these new people come along, and they're starting to help me out a little bit more with the instruction side. And that's
what would you say in terms of support and what you've been given, like from us and the team itself?
That's brilliant. I have to. I mean, I think I feel bad, because I've always moaned a little bit about not having time, because I do another job as well. But you've helped me massively, and I really do appreciate that as well. Because where I've got stuck, I mean, I'm very technical with the software I use, but when it comes to the software that you've introduced me to, you've kind of you've helped me a lot more than possibly I could have wanted, and I will get to grips with it, because the system's there for me to go over. So I don't just get one look at the assignments. I don't get just one look at the system. I can keep going back, and that's what I'm hoping to do when time, maybe next week, allows me to do that.
Brilliant. That's awesome. So if someone's watching this right now, which there will be probably, because it'll be on an ad as well. But the thing is, if they're watching this and like yourself, they've seen me pop up again and again, and they see all these claims of 40, 50, 60 students in a month, like, what would you say to them? Is the investment worth it? Is it worth
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say, what amazed me is you had so many testimonials, and I thought, they can't be lying. These people can't be lying. And there must be something in it. And then when it's happened to me, it kind of makes complete sense. And you know, I think I've got it for life. I've got this, you know, as far as my business brain goes, I can just keep using the same system.
Yeah. So definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So you would recommend it. So
I
definitely.
would highly recommend it. Yes, definitely.
No, but you're right, because I've had this many times when I speak to people, is that they'll be like, I've seen your videos and I've seen these results. I just don't
Yeah,
believe them. You know, that's the
yeah,
thing. So it's just really nice that you brought that up, because
yeah,
you see it's not just you, it's other people in the group. Like we've got a nice little community in there, and they're all getting results every day.
yeah.
Like you see it as well.
Definitely. I mean, I'm recommending you to all the people. I mean, I know a lot of club owners, and I'm recommending it. And I know because I know our industry, you know, being in karate or martial arts, we all we want to do is the teaching and the martial arts and progress that way. But ultimately, we do need to be able to do that. We do need to keep on, you know, turning over our students. I mean, my students tend to stay with me quite a long time, and I'm quite proud of that. So you know, I've had students from the age of 6, and they're with me still, and they're, you know, getting close to their 20s or whatever. So it's really good. So I do at the same time, you know, love the fact that I've got that to go with many of the younger students that I've got, that I can see in them they're going to continue this because they really like training, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, David, I appreciate your time.
No
Thank you
problem.
very much for
Anytime.
sharing this. And if you're watching this video and you would like to chat with me or one of my team members, please reach out. If you're seeing this on an ad, there'll probably be a button or somewhere. Just click it, schedule a call. It's not a sales call. Literally, the first call is always with me or my team. And we just want to find out if we can help you first, you know? So if you want to like get us to do like an audit or something like that first, have a look at what you're doing. We'll be happy to do that. And then obviously if the tap system sounds like a right fit for you, then we'll obviously schedule another call about it. But I hope you take action on it. And like David, there are tons more results like this. It's not just a one-off. And thank you, David. Really, really
No
appreciate
problem. Anytime, Swap. Thank you. Thanks for getting in contact with me in the first place.
it. No problem. My pleasure.